Welcome to the American Medical Extended Reality Member Question and Answer Series. In this series, we'll be highlighting the incredibly diverse and talented AMXRA community, one interview at a time. Join me, Dr. Mark Zhang, founder and president of AMXRA, as we learn more about medical extended reality through the perspective of AMXRA members.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello. Thank you for joining me, Commander Arencibia. It's my pleasure. I'm Mark Zhang. I'm the founder and president of the American Medical Extended Reality Association, and I'm here with Commander Arencibia, who is a member of AMXRA, and in the Getting to Know AMXRA Members series. I'm super thrilled to have you. Anyways, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. It's a nice break from the usual up tempo that is so busy right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's all. Well, I think, part of the goal of this series is really just to get to know some of the members. So I'd love to learn more about you and kind of your pathway to AMXRA.
Great. I guess I'll start with a little background about who I am and what I do in the military. So as you said, I'm a commander in the United States Navy. Those that can see me, I'm wearing a Marine Corps uniform. That may be a little confusing because the Marine Corps has medical support from the Navy. They purchase billets. And so we are in support of the Marine Corps. So I do serve at Marine Forces Command, Marine Forces Reserve Command in New Orleans. We also serve as a component to the Geographic Combatant Command that is U.S. Southern Command. So we're referred to as MAR4 Marine Forces Reserve, and Marine Forces South. I serve as the deputy surgeon there. I function in the capacity as a medical planner and support to our lead force surgeon, who is Captain Jeb Cusick. He's an anesthesiologist and actually the specialty leader for anesthesiology for all of the anesthesiologists in the Navy. So together we make that dynamic clinical medical planner team so that we can execute on our global health initiatives primarily and help make our forces ready. So I'll explain a little bit more about that in a moment, but I'll take a little break to see if you have any questions about that so far.
Well, that's super impressive, and it just goes to show, one of the goals of AMXRA is truly to be an interprofessional organization for all professionals working to advance medical extended reality. So it's lovely to have you. I'd love to learn more about just kind of what work you're doing in XR in your current kind of command.
Great. Love to share it. So I'll start with, we execute on opportunities to support global health and initiatives and global health engagements planned by United States Southern Command. And so for the last 10 and longer years, through humanitarian assistance, missions, and so on and so forth, we've worked to develop and strengthen partnerships with our host and partner nations in Central and South America for this particular area of operations. And in doing that, oftentimes it takes us down in and throughout those areas to work one-on-one with our partners.
Yeah.
Though we would all agree that the disruptive nature of COVID limited much, it also enabled much. And I think this is where many of us are with immersive technologies, AR, ER. We are trying our very best to incorporate aspects of virtual reality and immersive technologies to achieve aspects of the global health engagement strategy in our AOR. So this is at the very beginning stages. We're all learning, right? This is a new organization that you and I are part of. We're talking for the first time. However, that we cannot assume that others throughout the world are not. And so having just been the deputy surgeon at United States Forces Korea, I spent a year over in Korea and was privileged to participate in a lot of the technological advancement communities that there are over there. That they are rich with that, in particular Samsung. And so whatever little free time I had over there, I spent trying to become familiar with the technology that Samsung has, and the development. It was a very rich deployment for me, where I developed not only professionally but in areas of personal interest as well.
Yeah.
Virtual reality being one of those. And so I was there last year, and I started doing more and more research, and talked with Captain Cusick now about the possibility of us incorporating this as part of innovation. So many may not realize that the United States Marine Corps has stood up what they call a Marine Innovation Unit, and they're looking at adopting adaptive technologies of varying degrees, right? We see this with the utilization of drones and other, types of, now we are looking at exoskeletons to carry heavy gear. And so robotics, automation, artificial intelligence, all these various aspects of technological development are being adopted in all other areas. Why not ours? Medical, right?
Yeah.
And really what I've learned is I have to clarify, probably like you do, medical virtual reality and immersion technologies are not the same as medical simulation, because many of our services have had these medical simulation labs whereby you're going in, you're in a clinical environment, you're a person standing in a room. You're not utilizing all these adaptive devices to achieve being somewhere, physically apart from someone. So I'm spending a lot of time, and this is how we connected really, is the adoption of a lexicon. And what does it mean when we say XR? What does it mean when we say VR? What's the difference? What are our immersive technologies, and how are they different from a simulation lab? And so as my captain and I discussed this, he said, go forth and let's do it. And so utilizing the support to provide readiness initiatives with our host and partner nations, we like to say that we want to decrease risk always and increase the ability for us to communicate with our partners on a regular basis. It just so happens that the unique circumstance of reservists is they don't have very long to travel. And most of our providers have jobs in their usual life, right? Not when they're on duty. And so this is helpful. VR and the utilization of immersive technologies is helpful because it exempts the requirement for travel. So decreasing risk, decreasing overall logistics involved in the interface with our host and partner nations. And so that I know is going to pay its dividends. Another challenge that I've faced in trying to explain what immersive technologies can do for us is in the area of medical supplies. Okay, so if the Department of Defense, as you know, we respond to wartime, all kinds of different situations, usually humanitarian aid, right, to keep our relationships with our allies strong. And so in doing that, we rehearse through exercises, and in doing so, we utilize supplies. Well, another advantage of immersive technology is that you don't have to take a thing, utilize it, and throw it away. Right? There's not the medical waste even. So the world becomes less complicated and even potentially less expensive, right?
Oh, this is super interesting. It's fascinating to hear how folks are thinking about using kind of these suite of tools, and I totally agree. I think simulation is a very important and critical, and frankly, one of the more mature use cases from what I've seen using this technology. But it's a loss, I think, to only pigeonhole XR into just simulation. What's fascinating, so it's almost like we have in my world, we'll do kind of simulation, kind of tabletop exercises to simulate a breach or some major incident, and we'll kind of role play. And I never even thought about it. I imagine this could be one of the potentials for the Navy and Marine and the military is using these kind of immersive technologies to do disparate, like people just being remote, but in one command center, actually, instead of doing a tabletop, really
Yes.
experiencing it. That's really, really fascinating. And I
Yes.
realize, Commander, you're in your early stages, but I'd love to learn more of kind of whatever you're able to share. Like so there's the terminology component, like some of these foundational pieces. What are you like most excited about using this technology and just being part of the AMXRA kind of organization? What are you most excited about with XR and just the future of this technology?
Exponential development and adoption of these type of technologies. One thing will lead to another, that leads to another, that leads to 10 other things. Just
Yeah.
like this conversation right now, we're having a conversation where we prefaced it with who we are and what we're doing and
Yeah.
how we became associated with one another. And now we're leaving with 5 things that either one of us really agreed that we would have known if
Yeah.
we hadn't talked. So now we leave the conversation with 5 things. 5 things turn into 10 things when this
Right.
gets out and gets shared with everybody. And then all of a sudden things start to click and people realize that, wow, we can utilize immersive technologies to achieve these things. And the supplies for training actually cost less. The risk of forces because they no longer travel. And oh, by the way, it's convenient,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm most excited about the exponential development, my role in it with the Department of Defense and outside entities to bring together and maximize experience, training, development, relationships, and decrease cost and risk.
That's awesome. Well, Commander, it's a real pleasure, and it's a honor to have you as part of our membership at AMXRA.
Thank you.
For those that are watching, you can reach out to Commander Arencibia on the AMXRA network. So
Absolutely.
please, I hope you all do. There's just fascinating and exciting work happening in your area, and I hope we'll be able to have you back on to learn more and have future updates in the future.
Absolutely. I also would appreciate the opportunity to learn more about what you're doing as well. So I'll keep track of everything. Love the platform. Think it's working very well. This is evidence of that. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Take care now.
This has been a production of the American Medical Extended Reality Association. Our mission is to advance the science and practice of medical extended reality through advancing care delivery, scientific investigation, innovation, education, advocacy, and community. If you are interested in learning more or joining AMXRA, please go to www.amxra.org to learn more. Bye now.